G'day everyone, welcome back to another SuperCoach and Fantasy review video on the channel. Going to be going over my teams from round 22. Well, quickly, what a weekend of football it was. A crazy weekend. All the matches up until Sunday were either close and or quality. There were some great spectacles to witness. And as for Fantasy and SuperCoach, a lot of players put up some monster scores. So there were some huge scores across both formats this weekend, and I felt looking at both games, we went pretty well. So we'll start off as always with Fantasy. We've just been hovering the second half of the year pretty much around that 20k mark, but we had one of our better weeks of quite some time in Fantasy. We got a 24-16 round ranking inside the top 4,500, and we moved up, I think, around 1,800 spots. So yeah, that's cool. And I've won two of my league matchups, one with mates back at school and one through Big Footy. So yeah, still alive in those leagues. Hopefully I can finish well, pretty strong. The trades were the following: Logan Evans and Humphreys out. Yeah, just with the cash we had, we were able to bring in another premium. So we went Butters, who's been playing some sensational footy at the moment, and got a here it is here. Got a 108. 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐎𝐥𝐝, I mean, this is just a cheat code, this guy. His 3-round average is 158. It is the easiest VC of all time. And yes, look at his last few games: Carlton, Geelong, Richmond, Eagles. That's probably arguably four of the easiest matchups for Ruckman. So that does fall in his favour, but surely he can be a contender for All-Australian. But yeah, 168, easy VC score. That was always going to set up a good week. And yeah, just overall pretty solid scores across the board. But yeah, the defence, a lot of people cop these 70s here. I know 𝐷𝐴𝐿𝐼 Young is pretty highly owned, but yeah, 𝐷𝐴𝐿𝐼 tagged by Jordan. I thought he was one of the best on ground in the first half. It was just a class above with his cleanliness in and under, but yeah, just really couldn't get those marks and tackles going and fade out a bit in that fourth quarter. 𝐶𝐿𝐼 with the 123, again, superstar, another high performance from him, but geez, what a choke it was for the Kangas. Conceded 3 goals in the last 2 minutes or something, or 90 seconds. It was nuts how they let that one slip. Nick Martin continues to have a pretty productive season. We'll definitely take a 127 from him. Tom Stewart, I was actually considering the VC on him midweek. Playing Fremantle, saw that they gave up a lot of points to defenders. But yeah, just had a pretty low numbers game. Took a few nice intercept marks late, but I can't complain too much. He's been a very good trade in, and look at that run. Just ton run for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row. So, well, it is what it is. We looped, now this is good, we looped 𝐓𝐿𝐼. I could have done 𝐷𝐴𝐿𝐼, but it turned out to be the best decision possible because I was thinking, can't 100% trust Rivers, so we'll just let him sit this one out. We'll take Colby's score, and he got a 41. So, right decision in the end, but yeah, Colby took the piss with about 38 touches. Yeah, he's been definitely worth the 2-month hold in both formats for sure. Gordon, well held, by Steele Sidebottom, but kicked that clutch goal late, so always love to see that. But yeah, still youngster, and he's not really putting, look at this. We brought him in post-buy. I'm pretty sure he's had a very good run with us, and that's his first not so great score in quite a while. So yeah, hoping he can bounce back for the last 2 rounds. Zach Merritt was, carried the Terminators back once again. And they lost over the Suns, so happy with the 134. And it's been a while since he's gotten a 120 plus. Yeah, a few weeks. But yeah, no, he's starting to repay the faith a little bit. We brought him in about a month ago, so happy with that. Dawson was good today, and how about them Crows? Shock win over the Dogs. And Dawson, as always, just a very good fantasy player. Marks down the line, gets those kicks in, doesn't really hand pass it too much. And I think he kicked the goal or two, so yeah, content with that. Jack Steele, been in good form for fantasy numbers. Last 6 weeks he's been at least breaching a ton plus, so we'll take the 99. Tom Green, very good last quarter. How about that hand pass he did over the top? It was a bit fortunate because it did fall in the favour of Darcy Jones, who put the Giants in front. But yeah, he was very good in and under on Saturday. Connor Rosie with a 113, we will always take. Him and Butters waxing off each other really well. Started off a little bit slow, but yeah, got into the game in the latter stages of the match on Saturday night. Caleb Serong kicked 3 goals, looked excellent floating forward. He's got a bit of some nice forward noose, Caleb Serong for sure, but not enough to get his side over the line. But yeah, Serong's he's just been going. Still pretty underwhelming since I've brought him in. Not really huge scores. Maybe we consider is he worth starting next year. Yeah, I don't know. Just doesn't have the numbers like early in the season. I felt like earlier in the year he was getting a lot of those marks, like Brayshaw's able to do when he has big games. But yeah, well, I guess we'll just take a 103. And Zach Butter's good with a trade in. Had a very good third quarter, and yeah, also got going late. So happy with a 108. Sherry got a B. I think one of the All-Australian ruckman this year was outstanding. Just gets a lot of tackles. Yes, his hit-out work isn't the best in the combo. I don't think is as good as Gawn, but he just covers the ground so well, and he's able to take great marks down the line. Team English with a 96. It's just a pass mark, really, but I'm considering, do we trade into Rowan Marshall, because he's been unbelievable, and he's got the Cats and the Blues the last 2 weeks, so it could be worth doing. For the forward line, Flanders, another sort of sub-tonish game. I think he's been pulling that out of his arse as of late. He kicked the first goal of the game. Joel Caldwell, first poor score in quite a while, but he's been still an excellent trade-in. Zorko with an 86. Heaney was an absolute colossus in that final quarter. Well, one of the best final quarters I think I've seen Heaney play. And he's in that period of that final term Heaney was playing probably matches up to his best footy that he was able to produce at the start of the season. Outstanding. And nice 127. His goal kicking's let him down, but finally did get on the board when it mattered in that comeback win. Dylan Moore, outstanding, 132. Yeah, just the big ground and the conditions suited them today. He got a lot of marks, pushing up the ground, got involved heavily. I think he had over 10 score involvements, so happy with that. Now this put a lot of carnage on a lot of fantasy and supercoach coaches, with 𝐓𝐴 going down with illness. So thank goodness that I did have the E at least on Sean Manor. It's not ideal, but that's what the emergency loop is for when players like that go down. So yeah, happy that Manor kicked that goal late to kick the sealer and win the game for the Cats. So he did get a 60 plus. And that's pretty much how it looked like for round 22. Quick look at the trades before we move across to SuperCoach. We have enough money to do, I'd say, 2 upgrades here. We're gonna go Tim English to Rowan Marshall. He's got, as I said before, the Saints and then Carlton, so 2 favourable matchups. But yeah, he seems to have really good second half runs of the season. He did that, I'm pretty sure, last year too. But yeah, he's got sticky hands as of late, and he's kicking some really good goals and set shots. So yeah, I think we'll bring him in, and hopefully he can pull out some nice 140s. We might as well do it, because what else is there to do? And where has this guy come from? Tom Powell. He's been unbelievable the last 3 weeks. I'll still have a think about this throughout the week, because look at these scores. They've come against pretty weakish midfielders, Richmond Eagles and also the Cats, but he's looked great. He's looked sharp, so we can at least bring him in and loop him alongside 𝐓𝐴 for that F6 spot, or at least with more, let's say. And yeah, Dowling did get dropped across the weekend as well. So yeah, that's pretty much what the trades are going to look like for next week, most likely. Let's now move across to SuperCoach. Okay, across now to SuperCoach, and for the first time in about a month, we've finally had a good week once again. The past few rounds have been a bit of a letdown, getting a few captain's calls incorrect, and just simply not having players that are high scoring and not having in my team. So we got a 2686 ranked in the top 1%, 511th overall in the round 22 ranks, if you don't mind, and we're back inside the top 500. So I guess that's the goal for the final 2 rounds, try and stay in this top 500. So we'll now move across to the team. And yeah, we finally had a pretty good captain's choice this week. We 𝐓𝐶'd 𝐸𝐶𝐞, and we just decided to take it because I didn't want to risk anything. I was considering Butters, and that in the end lost out to 9 points, but not the end of the world. Who else was I considering? I wasn't really considering Gawn, but how big was he? Yeah, massive, and that is really the theme of Fantasy and SuperCoach this week, just the monster scores. Obviously, don't own Sherry, but when you have Gawn, when you have Jordan Clark, when you've got Luke Crime, and you've got McGovern, who had another 80 point last quarter, it felt like, that's definitely going to assist you a bit, even if you've got 𝐸𝐿𝐴. Some big scores we had this week. So through the line, so yeah, 𝐸𝐶𝐞 was pretty good. Apparently I did see that he did go into the room, so I was a little bit nervous, but he came out and got a pretty respectable score in the end. McGovern, I wasn't watching much of this game in the last term because I was watching the Lions and Giants game. He was on about 90 points, seeing on Fan Footy, and then like literally 90 seconds later, I check, he's on 130. I don't understand how this guy scores so well. I watch him sometimes. He'll make a spoil and he'll gain like 5 points. I scratch my head, but I'm not complaining too much. I own him, but he seems to be the champion data's teacher's pet by the looks of it. Jordan Clark was outstanding, offered them plenty of running carry, and had some holding the balls, had some bounces, had some smothers. He was probably one of Freo's better players on the day. And I probably should have benched 𝐓𝐴𝐞 and loop him instead so I could field 𝐓𝐴𝐞. But if you look here, Will Day also went bad too. So in the end, 𝐓𝐴𝐞 was the better one to field. Luke Ryan took the piss. It looked like more of that Luke Ryan-esque game. He just seemed to get a lot more of the ball. He got a lot of chip marks in the back half, and all those long kicks too. Had a few intercept possessions, but it's nice to see him get back to prime numbers like earlier in the year. And Dan Houston, classy as always, with a nice 111. So, overall, I think Houston's been a pretty solid pick this year. 106. Been good as a starter. Yeah, pretty consistent numbers. So, I'm happy with the 111. Marty Hall played for the first time since, I think, round 2 or round 3. So, happy with that. If only he could do that a bit earlier in the year, so he might have been able to trade him out, but it doesn't matter anyways. And I saw 𝐼𝐻𝐪𝐼 returned in the VFL, and he had like 23 and a goal or something. So with how bad the Bombers were on the weekend, could he maybe get a sneaky debut? Who knows? For the midfield now, really good numbers in here. Bontempelli, as always, just gets it done. Not a massive score, but the Dogs were pretty dire today. Zach Butters had a big second half, so crawled up to a 131. Zach Merritt's always a respectable player and got a huge 145. So I think his form as of late has been good. Around three around average of 122. So like to see that. Sarong liked him as a forward, kicked some goals. He had the set shots too were really accurate, and the snap as well was a beauty too. Definitely content with that. I saw Brayshaw didn't have a great game though, and Hayden Young had about a plus 40 ratio with his SuperCoach compared to his fantasy score. But it's a good score from Sarong. I'll take it. Tom Green had a massive last quarter. I feel like he could have gotten a little bit higher. I felt scaling wasn't really giving him enough justice. He had some big moments late, won some important contested ball. Sam Walsh, 89, but I'm happy with that because it was either him or Will Day I was going to field, and in the end that was a 49-point swing. So, happy to get that 50-50 right. And Dawson, usually good at the Adelaide Oval, has been pretty consistent there with high numbers and a 105. Happy with that. Was a little bit ineffective though, but I got those contested marks and kicked a nice goal too. And 𝐓𝐴𝐞 was massive, so 37. Looked like he was pretty efficient out there on Saturday, so he's now really starting to bear fruit for me a wee bit, given I held him for about 8 weeks. So happy with that. And Will Day, a bit disappointing. His last 2 weeks have not been great. At least I benched him. And apparently I saw on the AFL app that he was injured or tactical or whatever. So hopefully he's not carrying anything. Maybe we'll... when do the Hawks play? They actually play on Sunday. So... we can't really loop him, so we might just have to see. We'll just see how the round goes, but he could be one we might put on the bench again, given he might not be 100%. Clay Hall as well, 31, happy with that. So just needs one more game, and then he'll get a price rise. So I've had him all year, so can he finally get that first price rise? That'll be good to see. For the Rucks, Max Gawn, huge. This is handy because it definitely does numb the pain a little bit if you don't own Tristan Xerri, who got like a 185. I think you just have to thank Port Adelaide a little bit because they were just kicking the ball to Max Gawn all night long and getting intercept marks. He gave Jordan Sweat a bit of a bath, I feel, in the hit-out battle too. So, massive score. Grundy, very ineffective, and that's sort of the Brodie Grundy that I think Colin fans are well acquainted with. A lot of hit-outs to opposition players. I mean, that one even late he did with 30 seconds ago. He hit that one right down Josh 𝐓𝐴𝐞's throat. The rest was history. The £50 million that could have been paid did occur. So, it's been a little bit, how should I put it, ineffective the past couple of weeks. So, hoping for a big finish. We do have the Bombers, which is somewhat hard to score against, and then the Crows. So, some difficult matchups there for Grundy, but hoping he can neaten up his hit-out work a little bit. For the forward line now, for another week of Flanders going under a ton, so shame he couldn't keep up the run for the whole season, but still been ultra consistent. Zorko was, I thought, fantastic, one of Brisbane's best players. He rebounded exceptionally well and was very effective, so he had a good game. John Caldwell, it seems like he just hit the wall a little bit after a hot streak of form. 55, not ideal, but everybody really owns him. It's not the end of the world. Handy, massive last quarter and got the scaling points left, right and centre to get a 144. Oh, it'd be big if 𝐼𝐴𝐴𝐶 can finish off the season well and be a big player come finals. That would be handy for sure. Dylan Moore. Now, this is probably the best performance you'll see out of a player that gets a 97 in SuperCoach. He had about 25 touches, didn't kick a goal, but he had about 12 score involvements, highly impactful. Thought he was pretty neat by foot. Only had like 2 or 3 clangers, went at around 75%. He got a 130 fantasy roughly and a 97 SuperCoach. I couldn't understand it's just could not understand why. The champion data just confuses me sometimes, but we'll at least take a 90 plus from Moore, but felt like he was shafted a little bit out of a bigger score. Luke Jackson, I thought he was honestly well beaten a little bit by Stanley on Saturday. A bit of a letdown. At least he did have that mark and kick a goal. But when Sean Darcy is out of the team, you get excited a bit because this man can go big. But not really. But I guess an 80 plus is not the end of the world. And that's pretty much the team for SuperCoach, really. So yeah, back in the top 500, and let's hope we can finish there for the remainder of the year. Have a quick look at the leagues before we end things up. As always, we moved up to second on my competition. Yeah, let's move this across and see who's on top. It still is Mitch. He is 429th overall, and he got a 24.88. So a bit of a down week for him. Felt the par was probably around 25.50. So yeah, we had a really big week ourselves. Gone, 𝐬𝐿𝐶, happy with that. Lost down some points though, but worth the risk of going with 𝐬𝐿𝐶 if you really wanted to. But didn't really pay off in the end. Clark was big. Nick Martin as well, 130. So nice to see him get a few pods go his way, but what let him down? Yeah, that's a shame. He's obviously run out of trades because Ridley's out injured. He's just going to have to field Logan Evans. 𝐬𝐿𝐶, 𝐬𝐿𝐶 𝐿𝐶, oh yeah, he could be stuffed. Oh dear. I mean, surely Joe Richards is at least promoted from the sub so he can actually field 22 players for next week. But shame to see with Mitch's team, he could be in a bit of strife for the remaining 2 rounds. Who scored the highest out of our comp this week? Oh, it was myself. Oh, we can review our team again if we like now. We'll go with the second highest. 26.71 from Fritzl's friends. Let's have a look. 16.11 is overall rank. Where was his big score? So he VC'd Sherry. Yeah, if you're going to VC Sherry, you're going to have a big week pretty much. And look at that, 26.71 even with fielding 𝐚𝐿𝐶, if you don't mind. 𝐸𝐿𝐶, 𝐸𝐿, everybody owns him. Any pods really? Yeah, I mean, I guess Clark is a unique, because everybody owns 𝐸𝐿𝐶, Ryan Houston, everyone owns his 𝐸𝐿𝐶, Ryan, Dacos, but, only so much own Clark and Houston, etc. Oh yeah, and he has Chad Warner too, bloody hit me up with that, 164, he had a huge final quarter. But nice stuff there from Fritzels. And a quick look now at the fantasy leagues. Emmett, of course, still on top, and he is overall 603rd. Which is pretty decent because last week I think he was a little bit higher. Yeah, a little bit lower. So yeah, so he's moved up a couple spots. So good to see from Emmett. So around 22, yeah, 24.18. So a little bit higher than me. Captain Sherry, which was just like cheat code at the moment. It's the most obvious VC option for the last few weeks. Bontempelli was big late to rack up those points. I think he kicked 2 goals. I'm pretty sure Zach Merritt was great as well. Walsh, Trelaw, a bit of a quieter game. Sinclair class. Jordan Clark, big score, had a great game. Dylan Moore was big too, so yeah, a lot of inflated scores. And he still has Tom Powell. Did he bring him back in? Looked like it was a good trade, and should he have brought him back in. And Isaac Heaney too, he had as a loop, and it's looking good stuff from Emmett, so should be finishing in the top 1,000, which is always something you can hang your hat on. So that's pretty much it from me, everybody. Hopefully you did enjoy today's video. Feel free to comment down below and let me know how you lot are going. Are you winning some of your league finals? And if you're in any cashies, how are you going with that? Let me know down below in the comments. And cheers for watching, everybody, and I will talk to you later. See you later, fellas.